What if I told you that every single one of your life decisions led you to being right here with me right now? Because that is the truth. Every single decision you've ever made in your life has led to this one right now. That also goes to say that every single decision I've ever made in my life led me to filming this video. And what's so beautiful about that is that it reminds us that there is a larger force at play. There is an interconnectedness between all of us. The invisible string that ties us all together and that ties these beautiful cycles of our life together to ultimately have these moments in life where we're like, oh my gosh, this is the final piece of the puzzle. This is the full circle completion. This is what I've been waiting for. And for me, in a lot of ways, this video really solidifies that truth. And so like most of my videos that are inspired by some sort of intuitive download or universal coincidence, really just divine timing in itself, this one is truly inspired by an outing I had last evening. And so of course I wanted to share that with you and start this video out with a story time just to really prove how magical the universe truly is. So yesterday, my friends and I had planned to go to the Taste of Little Italy Fest here in Toronto. It's a street festival that happens every single year. We went last year and I've been looking forward to it ever since. It was a Saturday when we went. We had gotten dinner at one of my favorite restaurants of all time that was in the area, like we did the year before, and then we made our way down to the festival. And within the first minute of me actually walking on the strip where the festival began, I recognized someone from my past. And it was just so funny because I haven't seen this person in years. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're who I think you are, aren't you? And he was looking back at me and I couldn't tell if he had recognized me or not. So we just kind of stared at each other for a couple seconds until I initiated going up to him. And I basically said like, I know you. You used to supply teach for me at my high school. All of my friends and I loved him because he was like super chill, very funny, very flamboyant and eccentric, and was just really up with the times. And so he like knew all the slang and just was always cracking jokes and like was super, super chill. So we always had fun with him. And I was like, I'm sorry, like I don't remember your name. It's okay if you don't remember me either. I'm Brianna, but like this is how I know you. And he's like, oh my God, that's so funny. That's so cool that you remember, da 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 da, whatever. Another thing I told him was that I remember we followed each other on Instagram. I tried to find him, but then for whatever reason, I don't know if I unfollowed him or if he removed me or whatever. Anyway, I wasn't following him anymore, but I hand my phone to him for him to find his Instagram. We follow each other back on Instagram and I say, it's nice to see you, whatever, we part ways. Okay, then we keep walking down the strip. It's really fun. I'm bumping into all sorts of people I know, but that's really the big key in this story. And the street festival goes across a whole line of main streets in the little village of Little Italy in Toronto. So from College and Bathurst to College and Shaw's where it went off. So we started at College and Bathurst. I see my old supply teacher and very slowly we make it all the way to the other end of the festival. And so basically what I'm trying to say, it's quite a bit of a walk. When we reach the end of the festival, I see this one concession stand and it's not in a tent. It's just like a little pop-up table, like two tables. They're selling snow cones. It's this very lovely older couple. And I smile at the old lady and she just gives me this really warm smile back. So I had a really good impression of her. And then I look up to my right and I like freeze and I gasp because I see they have this set of inflatable dolphins that they're selling. And it just was so crazy because let's say 2 weeks beforehand, before me attending this festival, I was doing one of my favorite Joe Dispenza meditations. And at the end of the meditation, he says, now think of a sign to know that you've connected with the divine. And the first thing I think in my head is a dolphin, because obviously when you're intentionally choosing a sign, you don't want it to be something that you know you're going to see or is, in other words, common. You want something very specific because when you see it, you want to be absolutely sure that it's a confirmation, that it's the sign you've been waiting for. So I visualized it in all of its glory, the blueness of the dolphin. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I have no idea where I'm gonna see a dolphin. Like, I don't know if it's gonna going to be on a sticker, a picture, like a video of a dolphin in a wave. I don't know, but I don't need to know. And I just need to trust that I'm going to see it and just let it go. And I remember the past few days following that meditation, and I'm thinking about the dolphin and I'm not seeing the dolphin, and I'm wondering like, oh, maybe I'm going to see it here or whatever. And I just remember like shutting my brain up and being like, Brenna, shut up. You've already seen the dolphin. You've already seen it. There is a timeline and a version of you who has seen this dolphin and who knows that you've made connections and that this is your sign. So then I just said, okay, yes. I trust, I surrender, I've seen the dolphin, and I trust that it's gonna happen in a magical way. I forget about the dolphin, and then all of a sudden, at the very end of this festival, like right in its corner, I see it, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like what in the world? So then obviously I had to go up to the old lady and tell her like, you have the most warm, beautiful smile, and I know this won't make any sense to you, but I was meditating and I asked for a dolphin sign and this was it for me, so thank you. And she was just so lovely. But even when you just think about that, like the odds of me, one, being at this festival, at the time I was walking all the way down to the end of the festival, mind you, it was so crowded and so hard to actually get through. So among the vendors and people eating and chatting and whatever, we had people like dancing and partying in big clumps on the road. Just for me to even get there is a whole situation in itself. For these people to sell these dolphins, I can't even imagine, you know, all of the choices they had to make to, you know, ultimately end up there. But both of our choices led up to us meeting at that exact moment at the exact same time. And they served me in such a beautiful way without us ever meeting before. So it was just so wild. And then on my way back, because we went all the way from the beginning to the end, and then we made our way from the end back to where we started. And on my way back, I saw two more dolphins. Like I saw a girl carrying one, and then I saw another girl selling one. And I was just like, what? Like, this is crazy. Like, you know, I asked for the sign, I saw my sign, and now I'm seeing like an abundance of this sign after I just had that beautiful moment. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like I never would have pictured seeing this freaking dolphin at Little Italy as, you know, the form I saw it. And I was just so grateful. So, you know, I was like, thank you, universe. Thank you, like my highest self, for having that moment. And it was just so beautiful. Anyway, fast forward to me coming home now, and I'm getting unready. I'm taking off my makeup, I'm doing my skincare, I'm just like releasing and relaxing and cleansing myself from the night I just had. And I'm sitting down, and all of a sudden I have this like incredibly vivid, not vision, but vision of me having a photo with my supply teacher that I ran into today. And I was like, oh my gosh, I completely obviously forgot about this person and having this photo. And then I'm just sitting down, minding my business, not even thinking about him. And I just remember, poof, like out of nowhere, seeing this photo of us in my head. And so I go on this like deep dive bender through my Google Photos, and I'm trying to find this photo of us, and I'm like looking and looking. I end up finding a few of the photos, not the one I'm envisioning in my head, but other photos of us that I can send to him to show him like, oh my gosh, this was us, this was me, haha, whatever, right? I end up sending them to him, and he's like, oh my gosh, I do remember now, it's coming back to me, like, thank you for the memories. And it's just like a good little chuckle, right? But that's not the important part of the story, although it is. The more wild thing than that is because I had to literally scroll through a whole era of my life to try find these photos. I had to scroll through literally one by one every single month of the 2019 year. I end up randomly, I don't know what made me stop at this video. I don't know why it caught my attention, but I did. And I just like scroll. Oh, click, like, what's this video of me, just me? And I start to watch it, and I'm like, oh my effing God. What is happening? And if you watch my Get Ready With Me, you know that I've been making YouTube videos for most of my life. And I had explained to you like all of the eras of my YouTube journey and just my relationship with social media and creativity and content posting, whatever. I see basically the raw footage saved on my Google Photos from a YouTube video that I made when I was 14 in grade 9. And it's me talking about self-love and confidence. And I was just like, what the F? Like, I don't even remember filming this. I know I never posted it, but when I watched it back, I was like, when was this? When did this happen? Like, what? And so I had watched this whole video of me talking about self-love and confidence and tips and tricks, basically filming sorry, this is so wild to me. Filming a video that I would be filming now. Although I do think you should watch my Get Ready With Me to save you the time right now. At that point in my life, at 14, I was not spiritually awakened. I didn't have my like big spiritual self-love epiphany until a year after that. And oh my God, this is so wild. I cannot, okay. I didn't have my spiritual epiphany until a year after that. I didn't start creating the content I'm creating now until last November. So it's been not even a year since I've been doing what I'm doing right now. And at the time that I made that video about self-love, I was posting on YouTube, not consistently, but posting. And I was posting Get Ready With Me's, I was posting vlogs, I was posting content revolving around high school, so like day in my life, high school morning routine, blah, 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 just basically nothing like I'm doing now. And so the video that I had filmed at that point was very out of the blue for the content I was posting on my channel, but very on brand for me as an individual and as my most authentic self. That was probably the most authentic video I had filmed in my life at that point without me realizing it. And I'm watching this video and I'm just, again, like so shocked because I cannot remember filming it, but the more I'm watching it, the more it's coming back to me in terms of who I was at that point. I remember like filming it and actively choosing not to post it or not to edit it and just like kind of getting carried away or brushing it off. But more importantly, I'm listening to what I'm saying and I'm like, you are so right, Brianna. Like, you are so onto something. It was like very strange because it's like the best way I can describe it almost is it was so ahead of its time. I grew up my whole life being somebody that was always told you're very mature for your age, you're wise beyond your years. Everyone always came to me for advice, whether that was my own friends or peers or mentors or even my mom and my mom's friends. I've always been the type of person to give kind of this like therapist life advice. But the advice I was giving in that video were things that were not talked about at the time, were things that didn't exist at the time. For example, one of the big ones that's coming to my head is I was talking about the let them theory that has blown up all over TikTok within the past like year or two, thanks to Mel Robbins, who wrote a book about it. I was talking about the let them theory, the unnamed let them theory in my video at 14 years old before I knew anything about let them and everything's a projection and manifesting and subconscious reprogramming. Like, I was talking about these things and you would think that I had the level of education I do now about science and quantum physics and philosophy and esoteric knowledge and religions and stoicism and all of the stuff. Like, I am unofficially naming terms and walking you through these concepts that I have worked so hard to integrate over my life the past few years and now talk to you on this channel about. So you can imagine my surprise when I see myself filming this video at 14 that never got released, but was kept in my Google Photos. And the only reason why I found it again was because I was looking for photos of me with a supply teacher that I ran into at Little Italy Festival. Like, what is happening? That in itself is so hard for me to wrap my head around because there are trillions and trillions and trillions of events that needed to occur for all of this to unfold. It's like that footage has stood still in time, hidden almost, like in my Google Photos. And that version of me has resurfaced or almost come alive or been brought back to life in my current reality now. But at the same time is also currently existing in another reality or like on another quantum timeline. The version of me now made contact and connection with that version of me at the exact moment that it did is wild. It's is so wild. Like, I don't even have words for it. And again, it would be so different if this was a video that I had posted, because if I had posted it, I would remember that it existed and it would have been basically sent out to the universe, and that energy would have been carried out physically in my 3D. But because it hadn't, I completely forgot about it. The same way I completely forgot about my dolphin sign. And then when it came up, I was like, oh my gosh, like I feel like all of the worlds are, you know, colliding and assembling in this beautiful harmony right now. And that was the same thing I had with that video. From the perspective that I have now after watching that video, it was almost like I was never meant to post it. For whatever reason, maybe my higher self knew that I shouldn't post that video at the time that I made it. I need to keep it sacred and secret and held until I was ready to embody and carry that energy now, so that I can fully appreciate it now and integrate it now in a time where it's aligned for me to do so, when the stars are aligning, when it's in harmony for me to do so. Maybe there was an exact reason why I felt the need not to post it. And maybe that reason was for me now to share it. Maybe that reason was for me now to film the video I'm filming now, because if I had posted it 6 years ago, I probably wouldn't be here filming this video. I just got chills. Oh! I just got chills. It reminds me of this Instagram post that I saw, and it's basically talking about this idea that's very prevalent in quantum physics that says at any given point in time, or in any scenario where you have two options, two choices you can make, option A or B. It doesn't matter what option you choose. There will always be, in another reality, in another timeline, a living version of you who chooses the other option and then lives that lived experience. So in theory, I'm living option A. Option A, where when I was 14, I filmed a video about confidence and self-love, and I chose not to post it. But I chose to keep the footage. I chose to hold it there and forget about it. But there's also an option B, Brianna. An option B, Brianna, who decided to film that video, was met with the exact same footage and chose to edit and post that video. In theory, there's another version of me living right now after the experience of filming, editing, and posting that video. And where it gets really crazy is when you think about that, but on a large scale, where literally every single small decision you make, there's another version of you who chose the other decision, right? Like, your life could be so different in another reality, only based on a few small, minor changes in decisions. Phew. It's crazy. I think the important part in all this, though, is because obviously I'm a firm believer in divine timing and everything happening for a reason, in there being larger, greater forces at play in our lives that ultimately lead us to where we're meant to be. If our life is this start to finish line and we're all, you know, gonna be at the end and die one day, and there are certain checkpoints in our life that we must have and we must take, certain large or canon events that happen in majority or all of the versions of my life and other realities to happen, I think we're always gonna get there. One way to look at it is like our soul signs a contract before we come onto earth, and it says, I'm gonna accomplish this thing, I'm gonna get over this trauma pattern, I'm gonna meet this person, I'm gonna have this connection with this person, place, or thing, whatever, right? Like, we have these larger events that really define who we are as people, as individuals, as souls, that define our soul journey and our purpose and our, you know, soul mission, that will occur no matter what small decision you make. However, I think that in those small decisions we make can help us or hurt us on our soul mission. I think that we are not our words, we're our actions, and we're our most common actions. We're our most acted on behaviors. If we're constantly choosing option B, which takes us further away from this canon event in our life that could be really positive, then it's gonna be a lot harder to get there. It might not happen the way it could happen if you trusted and surrendered and flowed, and ultimately it just makes for a less beautiful, positive experience for you. In my case, I always like to think that the choices I've made are the best case choices that I could make. Whether that's because I was conscious enough and made a rational or logical decision to act on this certain thing or not act on this certain thing, and for that reason, I'm getting to where I'm meant to be on a more seamless path, or or because I'm connected to the divine and I have my soul team, or I have my spirit guides and my angels looking after me that are pushing me to get there and making a more intuitive decision. You know, a decision where it's like, I don't fully understand why I'm making this, but I feel like I know I have to make this decision. I know in my gut I need to make this decision, and then I don't really think twice about it. No matter what the reason why I make that decision, I'm of the firm belief that I'm making a decision for my highest good. And the stronger and the more sure that you can get in that truth that everything is happening for me, not to me. I am on my divine path. I am meant to do the things that are in my heart that are calling me. I am meant to achieve my dreams. I am meant to have this life that I know I deserve, or I trust that I'm going to have this life and abundance. Then you will feel relaxed and relieved when you go through the path, when you go through the journey, when you put in the work. It's not going to feel like this forceful torture that ultimately comes from this place of fear or this place of lack, because there's a very different mentality that occurs, the option A or the option B, for somebody that is trying to reach a certain goal. For the person that is trying to chase the goal, let's say this is option A in quantum world, for the person that is trying to chase, they're gonna suffer, they're gonna struggle, they're gonna doubt themselves, they're gonna be a perfectionist, they're gonna be an overachiever, they're gonna overthink and overlook and overdo every little detail, every little piece of work and effort, and then ultimately they're gonna burn out, and they're gonna question whether this is really meant for me. Or deep down in their gut, they're gonna feel like they're not worthy of achieving that thing, and therefore they might not ever achieve that thing. Versus option B could be a person who's attracting that thing, who's aligning with that thing, who knows deep down in her soul that it is meant for her, and she's already seen it happen in her meditations, in her prayers, in her visions, in her dreams. She feels it in her body, in her gut. It lives in her soul, it lives in her heart, and it comes out of her, it radiates out of her, and that energy, that force field, that powerful, powerful light that lives within you pulls what you want right in. It pulls it in like no tomorrow, and then it's this beautiful alignment, this beautiful harmony. Again, all the stars lining up in a way that you could never picture, imagine, or overthink your way into happening. It just happens in a way that it's meant to happen because you're allowing all of the pieces, all of the people on your team to make the thing happen for you. Your life is not a one-woman show. It's not a one-woman job. As much as I encourage you to be independent and not need anybody and not depend on anybody for things, you didn't get here because of just you. I didn't get to where I am because of just me, and I know that. I wouldn't be able to have this channel, to have the camera, to have the light, to have the room, to have the knowledge, the wisdom, the confidence I do, if it wasn't for my support system, my parents, my mom especially, my friends, whether they were good friends or bad friends, to teach me the lessons, to help me learn, to help me grow. If it wasn't for the universe, my highest self, God, my spirit team, people that have passed on, all of these things have played their part that is integral to the life I live today. The choices I've made, the choices that others have helped me make, the choices that others have made for me, whether I was aware of it or not, have led me to where I am today. And I trust that those are all choices that are in my best interest, that have worked in my favor, that have happened for me, for the betterment of me, so that I can come back here, sit in this chair, set up my camera, talk and connect with you, and fill my purpose, and fill my heart up with joy, fill my cup with love and abundance, and share that to you. I trust that that's what I'm meant to do. I trust that that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to be a person that spreads love and light and joy. I'm here to be a soul who lives and enjoys freedom and enjoys abundance and feels gratitude and shares that with people. That's what I'm meant to do. I know that's what I'm meant to do. And there's a version of me who knew that deep down in my soul before I ever thought consciously, before my waking mind ever thought, yeah, you know what? YouTube might be a good way for me to do that. Pursuing this wellness journey might be a good thing for me to do if I want to be a happy person, a successful person, whatever the case may be. There is an intelligence that knows everything about your life before you live to experience it. So do not get caught up in the ego thinking that you know better than your highest self, than another version of you in a future reality or on a higher timeline, living a higher frequency that ultimately is trying to help you get to be to where she is. Do not think that you know better than her. Always be under the assumption that you know nothing. I love that quote from Socrates. And even just the reason why he was so popular or triggered a lot of people with his Socratic method is because he never once said, I'm right, you're wrong. He just constantly asked why. If you believe this, why is it true? Why do you think that's true? Until you get to the root and the base, the beginning thought, the first seed, the sprout. For most of my life, the theme I've realized that has gotten me to where I am today is that I never focused too much on the what or the how, or never got too confident in the fact that what I was doing was it, or what I was doing was my identity, and I built my whole, persona, ego shell around it. I never got too comfortable in one place, in one environment, with one person, with one thing, with one niche on YouTube. I was always changing. I was always shifting and pivoting. It's a big word we use in my university classes in entrepreneurship, like failing hard, failing fast, but shifting fast. Whenever you see something's not working, something's not aligned for me, okay, on to the next thing. Every time, I felt like something is misaligned or I'm being called to something greater, okay, I shift, I move, I keep going. I don't stop and hold myself down. And a lot of times that means taking the high road. And even if I'm taking the high road, even if it takes me longer because I'm going deeper into the roots of my mind, I'm going deeper down the why rabbit hole, ultimately, I'm getting the most abundant fruits of my labor at the end of the tunnel. I'm never forcing myself into this stagnant energy. I'm always evolving and using things to evolve and expand and question. But at the same time, both unconscious and conscious, there was a why that was grounding me in the decisions I was making. For me and for all of us, I really feel like our why and our source energy are one and the same. Whether it's improving yourself or starting that passion project or choosing this job or traveling the world, if you take yourself down the Socratic rabbit hole or the why, and really getting down to why certain things in our life make us feel the happiest or the most grateful or the most abundant or the most electric and ecstatic and over the moon or like out of body almost, the things we chase the most in life or the things we want in the most in life, the reason why we want them, I would say 99% of the times, if it's something that's a true want, a true lasting hold on your soul and on your heartstrings, it's to return back to that love source. It's to return back to the truest, most authentic, real parts of your soul. It's to give back. It's to connect with others, to connect with souls, to make an impact on the world. Truly, I feel like there's nothing that is more powerful and pays off more and makes you feel most happy to be alive and most confident and loving and proud of yourself than to give back and help others, to make an impact in others' lives, to know that you prayed for somebody, to know that you sent someone good intentions and good energy, to know that you complimented someone, to know that you helped someone. That feeling of just pure love from the soul, there's nothing that beats that. And that's the reason why we're here living this life, having this human experience, having all the things happen for us. It's to try get us back to that energy, to try get us back to that source so that we can be the alchemists and the magicians and the healers and the leaders and the light beings that we're meant to be in our lives and our reality. Truly, I have this just overwhelming feeling in my heart and in my soul that takes over me every time I film a video. And the more I do it and the more I connect with that source of love and that elevated emotion, the more I get clear and get that clarity on the what and the how and the visions and the scripts and the, the physical doing. But it's the being that comes first. It's the being that vessel for yourself. It's the being that temple that is open to receive what you're meant to receive, that feels safe enough in receiving. And that takes a lot of soul searching. That takes a lot of self-reflection. That takes a lot of tuning into the depths of your mind in stillness, in silence, without distractions, without noise, and listening to what your body says, listening to what your heart says, listening to what your soul says. So do yourself a favor, please, and trust it. Be in the flow. Have that firm knowing that everything is working out for me. I know I'm going to see that dolphin. I know I'm going to see that dolphin because I've already seen it. I felt the dolphin. I visioned the dolphin, and all I could, I already saw it. So why is it that when I open my eyes, all of a sudden I'm back to this fear, ego-driven, overthinking, and then choose option B instead of choosing option A, which is go about my life with peace and love and joy, to be in that state of being and then ultimately see the dolphin in the most beautiful, magical way. I don't need to choose option B of fear, lack, ego-driven thought. I don't need to choose that option. I can choose option A. I have the free will to choose option A. And I also trust that I am being guided and protected and held and led and gently pushed like a soft, gentle wave that pushes you through the water or pushes you closer to shore. That I am being gently guided in the direction that I'm meant to be. I'm gently being guided to look and turn my awareness to whatever it is at the time to help me get back to where I'm meant to be. I fully trust in that, and I fully know in that. I know because I turn back into that stillness. I tune back into my body and my highest self, and I allow myself to get comfortable in the uncomfortable, in the unknown, in this stillness, in this silence. I let myself be in that as long as I need to get the clarity I need to choose the better option. I let myself be open to hearing what the larger forces at play have to say when I can't hear clearly for myself. You are a miracle in itself. I forget the number, but I'm gonna put it in here. The odds of you even being alive and existing right now are 1 in a trillion, 100 billion, million. It is a number that we can't even conceptualize as humans. That's how rare it is. So the fact that you're here, the fact that you're living the life you do is a miracle. That's not to discredit or ignore or push aside any of the challenges or the harms that you might have been through in life. That is to say that that hurt and harm and lessons and whatever else has come can coexist with the fact that it is a miracle that you're here and you are meant to be here and you deserve to be here and you deserve to experience love and joy and happiness and bliss and ease and freedom. You deserve to live a life you love. You deserve that. Let yourself feel that and let yourself know that it is okay to feel that, and let yourself know that there are miracles unfolding in your life right now that you have no idea that are going to happen yet. Another quote that I love is like, there are things out there that are so big and so good and so miraculous that are meant for you out there that you wouldn't know how to ask for them. There is a reality that you're living that is meant for a specific version of you, for a version of you that lives on this higher frequency that is so good, that is so powerful, that is so blessed, that the version of you now simply would not know how to ask for it, how to live it, how to be in it. You wouldn't know. And that's okay. That is perfectly okay, but I've said this before in a video and I'm going to say it again. The thing that connects you from this version of you right now to that version of you is love. There is an invisible string that connects you and you in the future together through love, through that stillness, through your higher self, through trusting the flow. That is what connects you to that version of you. Not the forcing, not the lacking, not the I can't do this, this is too much, oh my gosh, is this enough, am I enough? No, it's the being. It's the getting comfortable with feeling the abundance. It's the getting comfortable with feeling the confidence, with feeling the success, with feeling the love before it that actually shows up in your life. The thing that connected that version of me at 14 to the version of me now is that unshakable determination to be the best version of myself. That self-love that never stopped, that never quit, that never gave up when it was hard, when it hurt, when it was crippling. She never gave up. She chose to tune back into that light. She chose to turn back into that love and turn the situation around into love. And it is the reason why right now, filming this video, I can say with so much conviction and confidence and love and certainty in my body that that version of me wasn't ready to carry the miracles that I have worked so hard to carry now. And there is a version of me in the future, or a couple frequencies up, that has even more abundance and divine blessings and love. And this version of me now isn't ready to carry it, but I'm still connected to her, and I'm still focusing in my meditations and still seeing the versions that make me believe and know and understand that, yup, that's what I'm meant for. I'm destined for greatness. I'm destined for the most love I could ever possibly even carry. There is that interconnectedness in all of the realities and all of the versions of you and everything that exists in the universe, and all you need to do is focus on the feeling, focus on the energy, focus on the frequency that you want to carry you through your life, because that is what determines your reality. Your electromagnetic field that exudes outwards, the colors and the vibrations and the words that are carried in your aura that tell the universe, that tell you, that tell the projections of you, in other words, other people, who you are and what you want. You may not actively want to suffer or have a mediocre life, but that is what the energy in your body says you do. And for me, I want pure love, bliss, and happiness. I want pure healing, collective consciousness, uplifting energy. So every day I'm tuning into that gratitude. I'm tuning into that love. I'm tuning into that feeling and that knowing and trusting that that's gonna happen for me. And it already has happened for me. And I'm so grateful that it has. So I'm gonna wake up and feel that as much as I can every minute of every day. No matter what I'm doing, no matter what I'm seeing with my waking eyes, I'm feeling it in my body, and I'm gonna get there. My physical reality is gonna match up to that. Is that a mic drop? Is that time for a mic drop? I didn't cry in this video. I felt it coming up, but I didn't. And crying is never a bad thing. I happily will cry in every single video that I feel like I want to, but this was such a, like, ooh, fire blazing in me, and I just had to share it. Truly, what a fun turn of events that have led to today's video. I hope this helped you reframe how you think about your life in the world and how things, again, are happening for you, not to you. I love you 224. Thank you for being here, as always, and supporting my channel and truly just making the world a better place. You are so powerful. You are so loved, and every single thing you want and desire is meant for you. And as always, I will see you in the next one.